Typhoon Haishen has made landfall in South Korea. It's traveling inland now, bringing strong winds and heavy rain. Haishen earlier battered Japan, forcing more than 1.8 million people to leave their homes. It was the second typhoon to hit the country in just 1 week and left 180,000 homes without power. Let's go to our correspondent Rob McBride, who is in Pohang in South Korea, just north of where the typhoon made landfall. Rob, good to see you. Firstly, describe the situation where you are now.
That's right. It came ashore with full force, as it was predicted to do. It did lose some of its intensity moving over those southern Japanese islands, but it was still classed as a very powerful typhoon. South Korea was being put on the top alert level in its warning system here. It made landfall at a city called Ulsan, which is south of here, and it's now moving inland and just north of us. We are in Pohang, right on the east coast, and this really did take a battering when it was at its peak an hour or two ago. If I could just give you a little walk around here, we're actually staying in just about the biggest building here on the waterfront. It's this hotel. It's not a small building, and actually the last couple of hours or so on the upper floors of that building, it's been swaying back and forth ever so slightly disconcerting. But the typhoon has now moved on. But the concern is, of course, that here in South Korea and also North Korea, you've already had buildings really weakened by the previous typhoon only a few days ago, Typhoon Haishen. That moved through here, pretty much the same course that this typhoon is now taking. And we've had a lot of damage here. A lot of structures already weakened. So we are expecting more damage and also, of course, more flooding and landslides from this typhoon.
As you say, the country's already been hit by a typhoon within just the last 2 weeks. How is the country preparing for this?
Well, they have used the maximum alert level. They've also, the country here has put emergency services, first responders on the maximum response level, that basically all the services are ready to respond when reports of damage come in. South Korea is pretty well set up. It's got a pretty solid infrastructure for these kinds of events, even though they are unusual. You don't normally get the typhoons of this strength and also of this frequency, 3 within the past couple of weeks. Of maybe more major concern is for North Korea. They are far more vulnerable to these extreme weather events. They're far more reliant on their agriculture. We know that has been damaged. Thousands of acres of farmland have been lost. And also we've seen damage to structures. But interestingly, Kim Jong-un has appeared going out to the sites of these typhoons, of seeing for himself the damage, and also taking to task some of his officials, especially in the eastern city of Wonsan, which was badly affected by the last typhoon, and they're now, of course, obviously bracing for the arrival of this typhoon.
Rob, many thanks for that. Rob, stay safe. Rob McBride reporting there from Pohang in South Korea, where Typhoon Haishen has just made landfall. Military helicopters have rescued dozens of people trapped by a wildfire near a popular reservoir.